Welcome back to Lynn Oval in Stockton with the Maitland float winning the toss and batting. Lucas Sargent has the new rock. And welcome back to Aaron Gray. Hello, mate. You had a good spell there? It was great to listen to Adrian Chad talk cricket, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Thanks for that. It's great to have a couple of cameos from some other people, and I'm sure people are sick of hearing me all day too, mate. So good to be back.
Don't you start. They're sick of me, Jim. Shannon Threlfo and Daniel Foster. So two Daniel Fosters in this game, one on either side. Shannon Threlfo taking strike. Lucas Sargent with a new rock. We're just about ready to rock and roll here at Lynn Oval at Stockton. Game 3 of the triple header.
Sun is shining here, Redders. It's just gotten slightly warmer as the days progressed.
Yes, we'll be moving this table back a little bit later on. It's the sun's starting coming towards our legs, but
no, it's been good to get a full day of cricket in here. Obviously not so lucky over at some other venues today, unfortunately. So
Townsend, the end game. Do we know anything about that yet?
That's a 3 a.m. aim for a 3 p.m. kickoff. Sorry.
If it's a 3 a.m. start, Dan Proudman will be hard to handle. I'm telling you. And Josh Geary.
Lucky they got a pink ball. Best chance of seeing it. So,
indeed.
But yes, look, that's the only other prospect of getting on today. Obviously, all play was abandoned at Cahiba Oval, which has defined the winners of those pools.
Gets a short one, gets it on the glove, high on the bat. Moody chasing hard and keeps it to a single. None for one. We'll give you a little bit of charge over there if you like. Yeah, you can go on charge only. That'd probably be more appropriate for you. None for one in the first over with the Flood winning the toss and batting. It's actually not. It's turned out to be a reasonable afternoon here. A bit cloudy, but it's not bad. It's actually quite warm out in that sun, big fella. It's quite steamy. Yep.
Great seeing conditions now too for the batsman. The wicket's probably as good as it's going to have been all day. Obviously, a lot of rain around this week, so carried a bit of moisture into the day as expected. But
Stockton Treasurer Marty Committee's walking past us. The great man, Party Marty. Yes, it would be the best conditions. Great seeing, and wicket as flat as it's going to be all day. And the outfield's lovely and dry. It's been great to get cricket, to be quite honest. And especially if you hear it up. I say it this morning, it was a bit dim.
So not to labour this point too much. We've talked about it a lot all day, but this game here, obviously, there's not much in it for the Flood.
Double to Foster.
They can't now progress through to the quarterfinals. However, the Seagulls, with a convincing win here, can put some pressure on the positioning of the Whips in this pool and maybe sneak through to a quarter-final. So it would need to be a significantly dominant victory because the quotient is what the issue is for the Seagulls. So obviously need to win very, very convincingly. I'd say try and chase it down, none down, and try and bowl them out as cheaply as they can.
We were speaking to New South Wales assistant coach and Newcastle coach Shane Burley a little while ago, and he said, yes, that's the way they read it, is it comes down, if Stockton win, it comes down to quotient. If Maitland win, then the Whips will be fine.
Yes. The reason why that's so easy to determine is in Pool A, because of the entire washout over at Cahiba today, it's ruled the Black Roses out of a chance of getting to 6 points, which
Correct.
would have been a requirement to compete with the other places in third. So only Pool B and Pool C will be able to contribute 3 teams now.
Sea Dragons have gone through, and they'll get a lower seed because they're top of that pool in Pool A with a huge quotient, and they've actually got an explosive T20 side. When you think of people like Harrod in there, Grant Stewart in there, who's a first-class cricketer now, superb player, Joe Hart, Mitchell Lowell, and they've got some real talent. James Beattie coming back on here now. Interestingly, Aaron, this morning, when he had a bit of a trouble early on, he bowled around the wicket. And at the moment, he's the batsman is standing for Beattie to bowl over the wicket. I'm wondering if he'll change over here.
No, he's going to stay over the wicket by the looks of it. No, here we go. We're going to get the signal now. He's going to come around.
He's going right arm around. So Beattie going back to his tried and trusted. And he has to. This morning, of course, Aaron, his length was poor and he got smoked. So he has to bowl good length here.
He did, yeah. And also conditions are very different now. This morning it was sitting up in the wicket and he wasn't getting his length right. Here the ball will obviously move on a little bit quicker for him, so maybe slightly more forgiving if he gets his length wrong, but yeah, certainly looking at this field, so we've got a deep mid-wicket and a long on, so Shermie's coming around the wicket, still going to try and bowl that leg stump line.
Yeah, with 2 men behind square inside the ring on the leg side, right there. Again, he goes short first ball.
He's got away with that because no one behind square on the boundary there. It would have been a little present for the batsman, but he's missed it.
Should be able to get a little bit of drift here if he gives it any air at all, because the breeze is perfect for a right-arm off spinner.
Nice.
That might be a leg by, or has he got a little feather to that? No indication from the umpire yet, so it's an underneath edge. Single to Smith there, so the field will change. Threlfo, who's left-handed, and hitting with the wind and to the short boundary. So do not be surprised to see Threlfo drop down on one knee and try and whack him toward the surf club, which is down to the right of screen. Seen a couple of big bombs there today, haven't we, Gracie?
Yeah.
Huge.
Was this the gentleman that hit it in the last match?
No, no, it wasn't. I think it could have been Abel, the left. Oh, yeah, maybe Abel. It's his length right there, straight down to his fieldsman. Fine third man, which is Dan Foster, Lucas Sargent, loitering with intent at backward point. Birdie starting off okay here. He's got to get his length. He's got to finish his over. Short. No single. They should have probably.
Oh no.
Wrong end. And he's out, run out. Goodness me. And a run out. Hesitation and the misfield. They always do. Here we go. Coming back. Hainsworth in the right spot at the right time, and not impressed. John. Paul Kelly to Jake Hainsworth. And thank you for that. And it's 1 for 5 after 10 balls. Threlfo not impressed with that, and nor he should be. Always the dangerous thing, Aaron. What they tell you on a misfield?
Never run on a misfield.
Never.
That was Mark Taylor's theory, wasn't it? Never run on a misfield.
Well, interestingly, Mark Taylor, when he made his captaincy debut for Australia, he made a pair on debut, and one of his dismissals was run out at the Adelaide Oval. It was his captaincy debut. I think he's the only Australian captain in history to make a pair on debut as captain, something along those lines. Yeah, when he took over. Remember what Tony Cosey's immortal commentary in his lovely West Indian look. He'll have to hurry, and he was run out. Late lamented he was a superb commentator, Tony Cozier, and no longer with us. When you thought of West Indian cricket, you thought of Tony Cozier. Short again, he's got away with another one there. So Birdie getting away a very good first over here. Josh Chappell's out there now batting at 3, skipper. Gets his length a bit better there, gets him on the back foot. That's a very good over to start from Beattie. Score is 1 for 5 after 2 overs.
So obviously Trappell's a key here for them getting on with the big score, but he likes to get well back. He's not usually in a rush early on.
No, he's not.
Usually happy to get well back in his innings and come home with a flurry. So
I've seen him. Trust me, I've seen him come home with a flurry. Holy cow, can he kill ball when he gets going?
Yeah.
I would love to have seen his double in that grand final for City when he and his brother made 100 and he made 200. Not 223, I think he made that grand final. I've also seen him make centuries for Hamwicks where as you said, he builds and builds, and then at a certain point just hits the foot to the floor and just goes. And his leg side hitting, you whacks him. Foster on strike. Jared Humphries, the new bowler. And that's another wicket.
It's a low full toss that he's.
Was it a fully? Was it?
I think it was. Just somehow managed to.
Thought it bounced. Anyway, another catch for Park at mid-wicket. Another wicket for the Seagulls. So Foster out for 4 and Maitland in trouble early on 2 for 5.
Well, it's definitely what the Seagulls need. They want to try and go through them pretty cheaply and then chase those none down, I think, to give themselves their best chance.
Indeed.
Obviously, the mathematical geniuses will come to play tonight if that was the case.
Well, if Kathleen Pinksley is listening, she's one person that is a mathematical journalist, and I'm sure Kathleen will be able to come up with a question
Kath,
for us.
if you are listening, if you can message us in and let us know by what kind of margin they need to win by. Happy to have your input.
Always happy to have input from the great Kathleen. Did you lose your voice last night from Peter? Right, okay. 2 for 5 early on. We get to Humphries with his first rock. That's interesting. The side screen hadn't been moved first ball. Gabriel, who this morning was very, very fluent off his pads. I wonder if the Stockton guys are watching that. They've got a short fine leg and a deep square, so they've covered that shot. But Humphries cannot bowl on this bloke's hip because he'll clip him away and do it tidily. Humphries to Gabriel. Beats him first up. Now, is the voice going all right, big fella?
No, it's fine, mate. Yeah, that was a mate of mine just messaging in there because we had a 40th yesterday and went to Newcastle races.
Big day at the races, was it?
Not too
It
much.
got called off, didn't it?
It did, actually, and to be quite honest, we're not sure why.
We heard visibility was the reason.
Well, if anyone had a reason to have visibility issues, it would have been me, and I can tell you now there wasn't major visibility issues. Yeah, it was a bit weird. They did delay race 4 because of the lightning, a bit like the lightning rule in cricket.
That's a no-brainer.
And we got no issue with that. But then they did race 4, and then they abandoned race 5 to 8. So I'm not really sure. But yeah, the punters weren't that happy, let me tell you.
Suit and tie for Aaron, or just
fairly
casual
yesterday? Yeah.
Casual.
No tie, but
another dot ball. Humphries getting
threw
good
on a
lift
shirt
here.
to make my grandma proud, those sort of things.
Very good.
So a bit of a slow start here, obviously dominated by a couple of wickets.
Runouts are such momentum stoppers, aren't they? They really are.
They are. I've played under a few captains, or been in the dressing room with a few captains that have made the point that one good run out here, and that's a win to us as a fielding team.
Well, and it's funny you should say that Stockton this morning, 2 direct hit runouts from Jared Humphries and had a major effect on that game against Belmont, against the Whips, I'm sorry. With great thanks to our friends at the City of Newcastle Council, Aaron, for their wonderful support of cricket and this NCC Summer Bash. They're a fantastic sponsor. We'd like to formally thank them, and we'll do so again before the end of our coverage today. Lovely shot, Gabriel. That is a delightful straight drive. Can he get it inside the cones? He can. That's 4. That is one of the best shots played today. 4 runs, Gabriel.
Beautiful stroke, wasn't it?
That was glorious. And shows you that how much the outfield straight out. That wouldn't have been 4 this morning. That would have been lucky to be 2.
2, yeah. Yeah, no, we've got to thank City of Newcastle. They've been great supporters of the Summer Bash now for about 4 or 5 years, and in particular the NDCA showed us a great vote of confidence this year as we expanded, and were able to ensure that we had enough grounds to play our cricket on. So excellent support from the council, and this comp in particular. Obviously they're the major naming rights is the City of Newcastle Summer Bash. It's always great to have their input, and they take a big part in the public draw that we do.
They do.
And it's just great to see, and we're at the picturesque Lynn Oval, one of their more picturesque grounds within their LGA, so it's great to be here today.
Certainly is. Chappell being pushed on the back foot here by Bertie. He's doing a reasonable job at the moment. One thing I would like to ask you, if you know about this, is when Number One Sports Game comes back online, is it going to have light capacity to play full-on, like 7 o'clock start night cricket? Aaron, is there a word on that? I hope you don't mind me asking that without notice.
No, ask me for sure. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's been talked about. I haven't seen the final decisions and all that sort of stuff. So I believe that's in the plan. They do want that level of lighting, but I'm not sure where that's got to. And obviously it's going to be a great asset for other sports like the AFL, and the lighting requirements for AFL are different to cricket, as you know.
They are.
So,
the lux is different.
Yep. So it'll be depending on what the final thing, and it'll all come down to the budget at the end of the day, unfortunately. So, but hopefully, it'd be great. I think night cricket been taken up well in most regional competitions.
Well, we've both played cricket in Orange, and it's big. Dubbo's the place where it really did take off, because they actually get quite a lot of people on a Friday night for their mega hit. People come down. It's a real community thing. Perfect climate for night cricket because it's hot as buggery in the day.
Yeah, that's right. And
the McDonald's mega hit, it's caught up there.
Yep. So they still got lights at Vic Park up there. I remember I played in some Mitchell matches.
They have, and what they've done now is they've removed the bike track, so it's becoming a top shot. They're going to make it into a really, really good cricket. The lights were always very good at number one over Victoria Park number one. The interesting thing for me is that, I know Adrian Chad's sitting here with us, one of the interesting things for cricket is going to be the dimension alteration at Newcastle number one sports ground. Newcastle number one's being altered to be about the same size as Docklands in Melbourne. So whereas before it was almost a perfect circle of roughly the same size as the SG, just a bit smaller, the ground's being changed to be more of an obloid shape. It's going to be 155 metres long, or 158, so it's going to be the same size basically as Docklands, which is a purpose-built football ground, as you know. So it's going to be much longer straight and quite a bit shorter square, is my understanding in looking at the schematics and maps. And the reason that is because Newcastle was too short for top-level Australian rules at 144 metres. At 158 metres, as I said, being the same size as Docklands, it's not too short.
I believe they're trying to get WBL up there and all sorts of games in Newcastle.
You know what? No disrespect to anyone, it's about time.
Yeah, true. I didn't mean WBBL, although that might be on your radar. But
you meant the Big Bash League?
I was actually thinking the Women's AFL.
AFLW.
Yeah, AFLW, sorry.
And with the dimension changes for that, if that opens up opportunities. Now, this is Sydney Swans country. You probably wouldn't get a Giants home game here, although the Swans don't have a women's side. But at the moment, that would be fantastic. And if draw a crowd.
Yep.
We've got strong women's football in this league, as you know. I'm involved with Australian rules, so we've got women.
Things to talk about? Okay.
No, Ronnie, we'll be talking all day. Thank you very much, Ron Hancock. Single down, Gabriel looking again quite stylish. But no, I'll be fast. I'm really looking forward to see a redeveloped number one next year, Aaron. I know it's out for the season for footy, and hopefully next year it's back for our cricket season. Big redevelopment being done there. Again, council deciding to spend some capex and really get stuck into the ground. You could see the effect that grounds like the work that done at Canadian Park in Geelong, Metricon Stadium in Gold Coast, and Monica, and bringing revenue and money into those cities. Chapel outside edge down that third man to Moody. Score check for you is 2 for 15. But the idea of a Thursday or Friday night watching T20 in Newcastle is under lights, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock started. I reckon it'd become a real weird social event too, and have a good night out.
Well, I think this Summer Bash moving midweek now, probably 6 years ago or so, it's been something
Jaffa from Humphreys.
Traditionally in Newcastle we didn't think about. You know, we played cricket on Saturdays and Sundays, and back when I first came into grade, you might have played on a public holiday like a Monday or a Tuesday if it was a straight or something as well. So. But that was about it. Other than that, it was just Saturdays and Sundays. But I think it's great that we've been able to sprinkle some stuff through midweek as well. And
yes,
I think it breaks up the work week nicely, whether I was a player or just as a fan as I am now. So, oh no, that's it.
Another run out. Smart cricket, Jenkinson. Jenkinson calmly getting that ball down to Haynes. John, Jenkinson to Hainsworth. There's the run out. Jenkinson to Hainsworth. Don't need that. So smart run out there, and Gabriel again. He looks so comfortable. That straight drive he played was pure in the last half. God, it was nice.
Well, I think that partnership is critical to building a big one here for these guys.
Francis has got a bat deep again here, and Trappel. 3 run outs today for the Seagulls. Important, good fielding.
So remind me, did Humphreys bowl this morning?
I think he might have bowled an over or 2.
Okay.
Foster, Sargent, Beattie, Humphreys, Kelly bowled as well by the left arm wristies. So. So there's people in this. I'll hold off on that thought for the moment. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking out loud, and it's probably not appropriate to say what I want to say.
Well, that's good because your microphone's on.
I know the microphone's on, Aaron. Thank you. It's just something Ronnie Hancock just cheekily asking if we run out of things to talk yet. Not at all. There's lots to talk about in cricket. Lots. It's been a great day sharing it with Aaron. Great to spend the day with him. In commentary, hope you're enjoying as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. That's a lovely delivery from Beatty. Beat him in flight there.
Well, it is a...
Gentlemen, how are you this morning? Afternoon? Thank you.
We've talked about it in the last two matches, so we should just touch on it quickly again, and I know you get embarrassed talking about it, but you're doing some great things away from your Saturdays and whatever other days you're involved with cricket, but you're doing some great things in the digital world. You can talk us through a little bit of Redders podcast, sports podcast.
I'll make this quick this time. Redders Sportscast on Spotify, and we spend one night each week walking with the great Dan Prowman from the Mirror of the Career Club, talking NDCA cricket, and Plan B, do some other cricket podcasts from when I'm travelling around with various rep gigs. Trouble gets one short and can't put it away there, and doing some NFL podcasts, AFL in the football season, AFL footy season as well. So really enjoying that. We've just gone on to Spotify recently. So yeah, it's all great fun, thank you, and really enjoying it. I find talking on a podcast, on the podcast forums, that's big. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
We got all the way, or is it?
Yeah, dropped him on the hill.
Oh, yep, there we go.
One bounce on the hill. I used to write a lot, Aaron, and that became tiring and monotonous. The podcast, when you see the people like the Howie games and people like that talking, all the other people doing podcasts, it seems to be the way that people are going now. They've got time to listen and so forth. And he's got him run out. So that's Francis. I reckon that's run out without facing a ball, it is. So, which is where we're a bit of a time delay here. But he turns around. So Francis is about a yard out, and he got him. The umpire got in position. So that's a big wicket. Francis, who batted well this morning. Run out by James Beatty.
Got 3 run-outs in this innings?
Threlfo, Francis. Yes, it is. Yeah,
so one wicket for Humphreys and then 3 run-outs.
Yep. And like you see the amount of advertising, there's a big thing that Adam Shan talk about. It's obviously on the television, and Mark Howe is their podcasts, and it seems to be the way that people have got time now to listen, and they can do the podcast. They don't have to read. They can potter around in the garden, or they can sit there and do the studies and listen to podcasts and listen to people talk about things.
Yep.
And I'm lucky in that it's reasonably natural, and for me it's much easier to talk than it is to write. I know that might sound strange, but it's actually, like, I can sit and talk cricket with you for hours, and we get along pretty well and we know each other, but it's quite comfortable to talk here.
Yep.
And the podcasts are the same. And yeah, I've got to thank Nick Foster for that, because he was the one that suggested Spotify to me.
Yeah, so just on that, obviously, if people want to tune in to Redders
Sports Podcasts
on Spotify.
That's right.
Tune in, people.
Thank you.
And if you want to look for some kitchen knowledge, go to Redden's Kitchen on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Live streaming again next week. NDCA Facebook page will announce the live streaming venues once decision. You'll put that up on the Facebook page during the week. Give people some notice, big fella.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as the great administrator and his committee advise of the fixtures, we will schedule in some streaming from one of the venues on that day. And
our man Tim Kaimakakis.
Yeah, Tim Kaimakakis, yeah, that's the one.
Dan Foster coming on at this end, at the southern end, going round the wicket, bowling to Logan Smith, who opened up earlier on today.
So the Fosters obviously bowled in unison in game 1, and
they did.
Set them up for a nice victory against the Whips, only going for 16 runs in 5 overs between the 5th and the 10th over. So looks like Dan's come into the attack around about the same time.
I'm just going to go on to the Summer Bash. I'm pretty confident that the quarters get played. Oh, it's actually listed. It must be round 6, is it? Is that what it is? Let's have a look. Pretty confident it was 11 and 2 next Sunday.
Yeah, there's only 2 games.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like 11 and 2. So the first game's next week, Aaron, for everybody who will be tuning in next week, is at 11 a.m. It's the first 2 quarters. Aaron, with the fixturing, is the intent that, as much as you're aware, that the higher ranked teams will host, or
For the quarters?
For the quarters?
I actually don't have much. I do know this, that before the draw is done in this Summer Dash, the clubs are invited to advise whether they want to host a Summer Dash day, the Sunday.
Which Stockton did and got was
Yep.
fortunately granted
So
a day.
we only, I think this year had 5 or 6 possibility grounds to actually host. 8 clubs put in, there's only 6 that can possibly host. So the quarters may be determined by those 2 other clubs that missed out as well.
Okay, that's great. So it
that
could
might
actually
be-
be anywhere. Okay.
It could be, but not necessarily either. So there's a couple of things. It's not a perfect science, unfortunately, but NDCA trying to be fair, but also trying to, obviously make sure that the integrity is maintained as well.
Understood.
So there'll be a bit to mince through there, and I'm not on that. That's a subcommittee that works on our fixtures. So.
I just thought I'd pick your brain on that one.
Yeah, but I do know that it's not a simple process. It's a bit complicated based on who actually can and wants to host as well, based on their previous.
As you've done for many years, and I had the privilege of doing for a couple of years, that great administrator role and the work that goes in there, that is actually a complex job, and it needs a great skill, dedication, patience, and ability to think perhaps sometimes outside the square.
Oh, you've got to have your ear to the ground as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's just something where you've got to think of all possible scenarios. To the fixtures and permits credit, they were determined that we had to play this competition in pools, because if there was washouts and we only had a top 8, well then today you could see teams like West, for example,
Might have got Pogo.
would
That's right.
have got rissoled because they weren't potentially going to be in the top 8. So, and they've only played 1 game. They've had 3 washouts, and that was the major concern.
Just that last day from Dan Foster, a very rare maiden.
It wasn't
Very
Maitland,
rare
was it?
maiden,
Well, we talked about his economy rate in the game 1.
Yep.
Him and Nick bowled in tandem and bowled really well. So.
Now, do not be surprised to see Chappell go towards the bowling club area. If he gets the right length from Booty, he'll go straight after him. Short. The first 2 balls from Booty have got him on the back foot. Booty's going at 10 off his 3 overs, and one of those was an enormous 6 from Chappell. But if Josh gets the right length here, he will go and go hard. Booty to Chappell. Right length. No, I don't know if that was a caught and bowled chance. My eyes aren't good enough from this distance. I suspect it was bump ball. Don't quite know.
Oh, I think it was a catch.
Okay.
Tough one.
Tough.
Hit it pretty well.
Launched onto that back foot, didn't he, and put all his weight back and swung through it. Logan Smith on strike. Very pleasant afternoon here at Lynn Oval. A nice little westerly breeze in.
Mate, to think where we started the day in these same seats, it looked like we were going to get some weather throughout the day, and it's just continually...
You should actually tell our viewers why we're here. You should know that was certainly a decision that you discussed with me, but talk to us about what our plans were and what happened for our broadcast position.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I thought you meant at Lynn Oval.
No,
where else would you rather be?
No.
Yes.
Talk to everybody about the broadcast position today. Where we are.
We are obviously not running north south as we normally do. We usually get a bit more down the pitch. The reason being, we've snuck in under the awning here because we were so confident there'd be some rain today that we didn't want to be have all our electronic equipment out in the rain. And so here we are, but it's actually quite a nice angle. It brings a few fielders into play, and for us, we're in the shade, not the sun. So there's a couple of benefits to being here.
James Booty finished his spell none for 12. So that's a good comeback from him after this morning where he was rather expensive to look muddle into him a bit.
So yeah, we're quite, we're hoping the footage is still good for those people at home.
Is that him? Yeah.
We've got notifications on.
Who was that one from?
Who do you reckon that is?
Him?
Fenning.
Oh, is that Fenning, is it? Hello, Ryan Fenning, if you're listening. Hello, little man. Hope you're well. New South Wales country player and Parja player Ryan Fenning. And good to see you watching in, Fenno. Give us a thumbs up if you're hearing us, mate.
No,
I would hope not.
It's been great to get some messages from people listening in today. At least we know we've got a couple of listeners.
Indeed. Logan Smith with a back cut down to a whitish third man. Lucas Sargent on now.
I just had word, maybe 2 new signings. I don't know, 4, maybe the Blast. So yeah, what's the equation here, Dave? Give us a quick update on position of the game.
4 for 24 into the 10th. Trapp will really need him to put the foot down shortly. He's 11 off 19 and trying to build. Sargent has to be careful. Trappel loves hitting the ball in the air leg side. In fact, this is his hitting zone to where the commentary position is. I've seen him hit some very, very big bombs in his time, particularly Newcastle #1. So Sargent's got to get his line on length right. Short there, makes him play a back cut down to Moody at third man.
Yeah, so we talked about it earlier in this innings, and Trappel came in quite early. He doesn't mind giving up some balls early in his innings. Happy
and
to get out
that later on.
And he quite often finishes if he can bat his. If he can, get through 50 or 60 balls, he'll finish 80 not out.
100% all.
That's
short and dragged down, although it was a slow ball. Straight to Beattie at deep forward square. 26 for 4 now.
So he just tends to pick his time, but you talked about in the last game, I think when you were talking to him at the end of their innings in the last game, a particular over. He took 30 off an over there at #1 Sports.
Off Lumpy, yeah. You might have been there that day, were you?
I certainly was there that day.
Were you on field or in your supervisory role as a preeminent icon of Toronto Cricket Club?
I was an early retirement from T20 cricket. As for all the reasons we talked about earlier in the day, it's a young, fit man's game, and I've not been that for a long time. So, yeah, no, I was spectating. In fact, I might have been selling some drinks or something out of Canine that day, but it ripped the heart out of the innings, actually, because I think there was some level of control throughout that innings, and 30 off the last over.
And
just gave them all the momentum. I think they finished 170 instead of what maybe should have been 150.
And I'm just fascinated as to why Greg would bowl the last over, whether there'd been a mathematical calculation that they'd got wrong.
I think Tooley was the skipper at the time.
Paul was skipper's got that. Okay, fair enough.
So, and I think his decision making was based off the fact Greg had bowled 3 other overs that were pretty economical, and thought that just keeping pace off was the right way to finish out the innings. Trappel had other plans.
So James Beattie's bowled out here, so Paul Kelly's going to come on at the northern end. Might see if we can get Cal Gabriel to come and have a bit of a chat reasonably soon. If you want, did you want me to step out for a little while?
Oh, no, I'm more than happy for you to chat to him, mate. You know,
is Cal there?
Callum.
Does Cal want to come and have a chat on the microphone?
Can I talk to you about that, bro?
Single to Josh Trappel there out to forward square. Cal Gabriel joining us now from the Maitland flood. And we'll just get his microphone right. We'll have a bit of a chat with Cal. Smith goes straight down the ground there. Welcome, Cal. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, mate.
No, it's good to have you. Thank you.
Gee, you looked that straight drive. I thought you were set again. You looked good this morning. That straight drive was pure. You must have been pleased with that. And then I know I could tell you're frustrated. I'm not meaning to be
Nah, it's all right.
rude.
It's all right. Nah, well, hopefully Josh stays out there, or he might cop a bit of a spray.
And how, first of all, at back home, how are Norths going in the competition?
We're going all right. I think we're sitting about 3rd.
Yep.
And as Josh was saying earlier, I think we've got to play them in a 2-day, which will be
At home, I think,
at
at Lawn.
Lawn, yeah. So which will be
That's almost a full bunger. And dropped, and I think that's 6. So been dropped over the fence. That's twice he's been dropped now, and that's probably not a wise move. That's almost a full waste of a full toss too, actually. And skipper Nick Foster, not overly impressed there. But so yes, you've got a 1 day this week, Cal, at the home, or it's back in the 2 day cricket at home?
No, we got a two-day cricket against Curry at Curry.
At their way. Thanks to Entire Trades, sponsors of the Maitland flood. Now, have we got a problem with the cricket ball here? The umpires are getting together. That ball may have, I think it hit a car.
Yeah.
It sounded like
Definitely did.
One of the bowlers has thrown it down the ground.
Threw it away, did they? Oh, didn't see that. I was too interested in talking to Cal. Have you enjoyed being part of the bash this year and having a game?
Yeah, it's been good that we've got a couple of Maitland sides in it, especially. But yeah, it's always been good coming down here to see where we're at with these Newcastle mobs. So it's always a good challenge for us.
Chappell gets that down to long off. Can you see at some stage, and I know that I'm not trying to cause any issues here, do you think that at some stage that Maitland would think about wanting to come in and play in Newcastle on a permanent basis?
I think there's been talks about it at association, but I don't know. I think it's just getting all the numbers sorted.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I reckon. So it's just getting the blokes to come down here would be a bit of a challenge, but it'd be good. I reckon it'd be good to get our best 11 down here and challenge all the Newcastle boys. That's for sure.
Actually, I think so as well. So. And how did you go? And you played some representative cricket this year?
Yeah, I went to the country champs at where was it? Tuggerah.
In the desert?
Yeah, in the desert. Yeah. No, it was a good experience. Like it was my first trip away to like an opens competition, so it was good to meet all the country boys. So no, it was a good experience.
You certainly went okay. I think you made what 150 in the
Yeah,
tournament?
50. Yeah, 50 something against Central Coast. Yeah.
And was that? That was in the game where you fixed them up, wasn't it?
Yeah, we only think we scraped home and got 180 and bowled them out for 70.
That's right. It was extraordinary. We were watching another ground. It was just wicked up. We think, what's going on here?
We didn't really believe it as well. It was,
Dylan Smith went through them, didn't he?
Yeah, he got 4. I think Tommy O'Neill got 4.
Yes.
2. Tommy O'Neill got 2. And I think I might have got 3.
I think he came on late,
4,
but Smith went through the top order like a dose of salts, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Young Dylan Smith he bowled well that tournament, I thought.
Well, we saw him up at the Colts in Tamworth, and he can play. He's a serious
really
player.
Good.
But no, you look. The interesting thing is, I hate to talk about you. You had 9, but you look. That's out. That's a brilliant ball from Foster. Dig it in short, and Trappell's drop chances don't cost too many. 5 for 38 now is the score. 5 for 36. That's a Jaffa from Foster, and flex Trappell's glove, and that's a big wicket. You looked very comfortable, and you looked like you had time. And often when players take that next step up, and I mean there weren't bad decks there either, but you just looked comfortable, and you looked like you had time. Did you feel comfortable in the middle, to be honest?
Oh, definitely not the first game. I was probably a bit shaky the first game, considering it was first time there. But I think after getting that decent score against Central Coast, it kind of calmed me down a little bit and felt that I had a bit more time. And that, so no, it was good to get some runs there. And
how was the body after 3 days cricket?
I was really sore. I had to have a couple of days off work, I think. So, but no, body was all right. It's recovered now, so it's good. Look,
congratulations! It's a big deal. Central North put a lot of pride on that red baggy cap. I know. I've been around enough to know that. You must be thrilled to get your first men's. Something you never forget, really, the first time you get that baggy, isn't it?
No, you don't. You don't forget it. But yeah, I've still got mine at home, so hopefully I get another crack next year.
I would think so. The Central North side's building. You can just see them. There's some real talented young players. Young Gibson over here who's played for a couple of years now, and there's some other blokes out there. I hope, and like Buddy Harriet was actually slightly unlucky to be given out against us, and there's a backstory to that which I won't go into. But there's some talent there, and if they can continue to foster it, and the longer that Buddy and Grothy stay around, I think it's going to be good for you young fellas to play with blokes like that, particularly in Grothy's case. He's an absolute legend of Australian country, let alone New South Wales.
Yeah.
And still a superb keeper, I think. Down there, Adrian Chad's behind us, but at the country tournament in Canberra, I think he made 23 dismissals in 4 days. So. That's a lovely delivery to Bowd. And so with Norths, where are you batting at 3 for Norths? Or?
Yeah, batting 3. Yeah, nah, it's a position I like batting at 3. So I know some people don't really like it, but I like it. You can go out there at any sort of game, at any situation, which I like. So I like a bit of a challenge.
Well, that's great. Bit cooler than not like the middle of Lawn Oval in the middle of a summer's day down here, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't get that sea breeze up at Maitland, so it's good to come down here and get that sea breeze.
Although your home ground is one of the most beautiful and proper cricket grounds in all of country New South Wales. It's a great spot. Lawn Oval. It's just a great ground.
Yeah, it's good.
It's what you call a proper cricket ground.
Yeah,
It really is. Scorers. Scorers just confirming there are 2 balls left in this over. So I'm not going to comment on that notification from our friend at Toronto. So from our friend at Arimba. Hello, Ryan Fenning. I am on air, big fella. Foster causing some issues bowling that left arm around the wicket. And Tom O'Neill, he's still going all right for a fellow into his late 30s. He can still let him go, can't he?
Yeah, he can, definitely. But yeah, he's always been quite a good cricketer. Had good time for Tommy, all the time in the world for him.
Good man. Plays his club cricket here, of course, for Stockton. Nice shot. Poor misfield, really. That should not have been misfielded. I think Foster will not be happy. 5 for 38 now. I think that's 11 gone. I'll just check that on our screen there, Cal. And it is. It's 11 gone. So back into... So where you're at Curry, and that's 80 overs each, isn't it?
Yeah, we do 80 overs a day back at Maitland.
And then Josh was saying, at least one day left and a couple of 2 days. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think we got Curry in a 2-dayer, then we got City 2-dayer, and then we finish with East in a 1-dayer. And then you're
into
semis and finals.
And the semis are from memory when Josh and Matt made that huge partnership, the 2-day semi-finals. Same rules, 80 overs each?
Yeah, 80 overs, yeah. Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. New South Wales country captain Nick Foster on, bowling right arm around the wicket. That's bowled. Charging, Smith charging, and Foster beats him in flight. Stockton putting the clamps on here a bit. Now down 6 down. I must say the kit that you guys are wearing, it looks, I'm not sure if it's brand new, but it's a very smart kit.
It's nice. Good. It's comfortable.
It is.
Thanks to Entire Trades.
Yeah, thanks to Entire Trades. You better give your workplace a plug while you're on, big fella. Who do you work for, mate?
I work for RMH Built.
Okay.
So Rodney Hines owns the business and he plays cricket at North. So
are you an apprentice builder?
Yeah, an apprentice builder, yeah. Just started 2nd year.
Very good. And that's based in Maitland itself?
Yeah, based in Maitland, but we usually would go from Newcastle to...
Do you go up to Muswellbrook?
We can go up to Singleton. We go wherever we need to go, really.
Okay. RHM build?
RMH build, yeah.
RMH build, right, very good. Oh dear, it's most unusual, this breeze. You can see the flag on the far side, that's a westerly, and usually the breeze comes across this way. It's a sea breeze, and that's an offshore breeze. It'd actually be a nice little surf out there at the moment. So going in is Steve Abel, I think, isn't it? Yep. Who actually bowled quite well in the first game.
He bowled really well.
He bowled, didn't he? He took the pace off the ball nicely.
Very smart bowler. I think he's probably one of the best bowlers back we got at home. So he thinks about it. Thinks about his game a lot, which is good.
Now, with Curry, does the keeper stand up to him?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Interestingly here, it'd be interesting to see if Abel takes Foster's banking on. There's going to be no fine sweeps. There's actually the only man behind square is just behind square at the fence. Interesting to see if Abel can go down and lap him around here. He's got runs galore because there's no one in at 45. That's a brave shot early on, but it certainly is a target area for him. He's got 3 men on the leg side fence, basically from square leg. He's got 4 men on leg side fence. I do beg your pardon. Foster makes him hit straight though. But that's certainly a shot, Cal, that he could consider. And one of the things when you speak to people playing the T20 is the bowler, once you hit a certain area and you find a target spot to go, and that's what. And you often see it in the big bash. If they bring the short man up, they're almost always ramping or doing reverse.
Yeah.
Sixers did well last night.
James Vince robbed of 100.
That's a miss stumping, and it will be a bye. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a bye from the umpire. Just waiting for him here. It is. So that's a miss stumping. Foster beating him in flight again. When I first saw Nick Foster play 19 years ago in a state final on number 1. Even then he had really good loop on the ball. It was a heavy ball, Cal. And he's now played a lot of pretty tough cricket. He's played Sydney Case King T20, which is playing Shield players, and played for New South Wales, and he continues to bowl with quite a lot of really good loop. And when Gibson played against us last year, remember he bowled with really nice loop. That might be a wide. Just getting himself back there. Scorers. Sorry. The advantages of being a scorer by trade. The umpire's just sitting there in the crucifix position. 6 for 40 is the score at the moment. 6 for 40. Nick Foster proving himself a bit of a handful here. Oh, that's a full bunger. Gets that down the backward square for a single. It's 6 for 41. 6 for 42 now. Goes for a little dinky shot, but picks out Daniel Foster at short third man. And that's over. So what do you think from here? What have we got, Cal? We've got 42 off 12. That's a tough get, but you're probably wanting to be competitive at 110, 120 from here. That'd
be really nice to get that 110, 120. But
and Fisher hasn't batted yet, has he? He got runs this morning, earlier on today. So
well, as you said, 110, 120 would be nice. Definitely something to bowl at.
Yep. It's because of the rain, it's quite a bit slower pitch than normal, and you get advantage from bowling. Abel bowled those nice cutters and varied his pace a lot, and he was hard to hit, wasn't he? Have one more over, mate, if you like, and done a good job, thank you. Jared Humphries coming on from the southern end. Played for North Coastal at the Telts tournament, and also played for North Coastal at the same tournament he would have played against Cal Gabriel for North Coast this year, making his senior appearance at Tuggerah at the new complex there. That was the last day game, Central Northern and North Coastal, I reckon.
Yeah.
Bow gets one of his toes and efficiently tucks it back to backward square to Keith Moody. When did you get the call that yesterday was off on Friday night? Or
we got called off Friday.
That's it.
I think West didn't have the covers on the Thursday, which was a bit piss poor in their behalf.
Is that it? That's safe. Nice little chip shot there from Abel, sorry. Causing some mirth about there. He's riding the fish over here, yes. So. Yes, we actually had the covers here out on Wednesday because we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And some of the guys had them out Wednesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. We still, this was the only game in all of Newcastle that was finished yesterday. It was second grade here. So. How did you find the pitches to bowl at Tuggerah? You certainly bowled very well. Did you do anything differently, or what did you focus on?
I was just trying, when I was running the bowl, I was just trying to have a bit of a clean, trying to hit the top of the stumps. But the pitches were nice bowling, I thought. definitely something different than back at home. We're always a bit softer at home, but no, they were nice, rock hard. So a bit more of a challenge for us bowlers, but no, it was a good challenge.
The ground you played on the last day, 12, it was a belter of a track.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to protect straight because they're so short.
Yeah.
That was a very good pitch, I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of runs scored on it, a lot.
Oh yeah.
Averaging 250 over the 2 days, I believe. So that's always good. Might be a wide. No, that's his one over the shoulder. Must have gone straight over the stumps, Cal, that one.
Yeah. Good bumper.
It actually was. He's a bit sharper than he looks, Joe. He's not a big man, Humphries, but
yeah, I remember him from the country champs. Yeah, he bowled quite well.
He's nippy. Yeah.
Bowled quite well.
Humphries getting the ball into the slot again. Score check for you is 45 for 6. Lucas Sargent now coming back out of the ring and going back to deep cover to give away that single. All of the Stockton players in the infield are back on the ring, which for those of you that are interested, it's 27.5 metres basically is the rough circle from the middle stump, 27.5 basically. He's got that well. Has he beaten the fieldsman? He has. That's a lovely pull shot from Abel. And finishes off the over with a boundary. Cal, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been lovely to talk to you, and congratulations on a good season so far. Good luck for the rest of the season with Norths. Hope you get into the finals. And, mate, it'd be great to see you playing again next year for Central. You did a very good job. You should be very proud of yourself, mate.
Right, thank you, Reddis.
Thank you so much, mate. Good on you, mate. Thank you. Welcome back, big man.
Thank you. I'll just have a drink of water and give the throat a break.
And avoid texting with Ryan Fenning.
Oh yeah. Well, my phone stayed here, so that's been easy.
Lovely shot down the ground from Bowd for a single. Nick Foster not overly impressed with the mis-stumping last over.
No.
He had the teapot working. No, you and Chad seen that teapot many a time, I'm telling you. That's gone. That is into Lexi's. That's huge.
That looks like a familiar shot.
That is. Abel, another one.
It's Abel that.
Same one.
Bumped out in
The one earlier was more of a slog sweep. That was almost a pure sweep square.
Yeah,
that one went down more towards the green shrubs over here. It's slog sweep.
You get the ball back.
Yeah, they did quickly, which is amazing.
Well, got a
Foster
leggy?
throws that one right up.
Is that a leg spinner?
No, he just threw it up much higher. No, it wasn't a leg. Just a bit of a scud missile there, just throwing it up.
Yeah.
Faster ball, beats him. Comes back after the 6 with 2 dot balls. 6 for 56, Aaron. Abel on 12. Lassar ball. Hits it straight up in the air and will bounce and spin away to Dan Foster safely. Foster having great variance of pace here and beating him in flight there. Just gets an outside edge of that one.
Well, this is Stockton's in the box seat here to try and get that comfortable 10-wicket victory. To try and give them some hope of scraping in on the quotient.
That might be a catch. Is going to get there? No. Just bounces short of Trent Park. Foster again throwing it up.
So they'll be focusing here, and I would think, on bowling them out as low as possible.
Yes.
And then chasing the run, 0 wickets lost.
Foster's 1 for 12 off 2.
So just a quick recap, if you want, on the ladders. I know we've touched on it a few times. But people
Please do, sir. Please do. I'll actually turn the microphone off and let you have the microphone for a minute. Go if you like.
Don't worry. So in Pool A, obviously the washouts over there at Cal Oval today have locked in first and second place as they were, which I think is University and Hemwicks. The team that's come third over there will be the Black Roses, and they'll finish on 5 points, which isn't enough to progress to the quarterfinals, because the quarterfinals are decided by who finishes as the best third-ranked team out of the 3 pools. So because they didn't get the 6 points, which is going to be what the third place are going to finish on in both Pool B and Pool C, it'll be between the people in Pool B and C that finished third. That will go through the quarters. Now, the interesting part about this game is Stockton need to win convincingly and try and knock off the Whips, who had one win today and one win earlier in the tournament. So they're finished on 2 wins.
Single to bow there, Dan Foster on from this other. Yeah, look, the mathematics, yeah. Belmont Stock Seagulls position, that's the one that's now up for grabs, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, that's right. And interestingly, Stockton beat the Whips, which would have helped sort of bring that quotient back a little bit. But
Although the Whips trounced Maitland.
that's right. So Stockton need to do the same here to have any chance of closing that gap.
But for Nick Foster's men, they need to wrap this up quickly and then take a punt hole instead of getting it out and go and really do a Daniel Smith type chasing.
Yeah, well, the key for them is not lose a wicket. So quotient, like they can do it in 20 overs if they want to. Obviously,
that's
it won't.
another way of going around it. Yeah, that's right. That's
It's just, yeah, the quotient, they just don't want to lose a wicket. If they, oh, the band's turned the music up.
That might be big. That is very big. Lovely pull shot, authentic pull shot there from Abel. Another 6. Foster taking the risk and bouncing one short. And Abel stepping inside and playing an excellent authentic hook shot. 6 bits. 6 for 65. The flood. And we're going to get a full day's cricket in, which is, I would have been knocked over if you told me that at 9 o'clock this morning. Inside edge onto the pad there. Single from Abel. Oh no, he's called that a leg by, so he must have whacked the pad with his bat. I thought he inside edged that clearly. I thought he smashed the cover off that, but anyway, doesn't matter. Foster to Bowd now. That's 4. That's a lovely cricket shot. Inside out off cover drive. Lovely cricket shot. 4 bits. So just next week while we're on it, NDCA first grade, Aaron, while we're just quickly for people. Wests have Hamwicks, Belmont's got Charlestown. As we said, Hamwicks have got West, Stockton's got Waratah. Charlestown play Belmont, Toronto's got City, Waratah's got Stockton, and Uni and Cardiff play. So there's some very, very big games there. 2 of the biggest ones are Wallsend and Merriweather, and Western Hamwicks. They're both massive games.
So they're essentially 4 of the top 5 teams playing each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stockton's one of the only top teams not playing a team in the top 4.
So they can consolidate their position. Say, well, 2 of those teams in the top 5, which means your 4th spot or someone in looking at a 4th team into that top 4 could come from mid-table.
Yeah, that's right.
Just looking at today's play, look like they've got underway at Townsend Oval. So Maitland Magic over there are 5 for 29 off 12 overs against Merriweather. So
wow.
that means
wickets to Sam O'Sullivan, Cuddles. Who's got the wickets there for Merriweather?
no, Holding looks like he's got a couple. So he's got 2 for 7, and then a wicket to Darwin, O'Sullivan, and Stanbridge.
Handy guest in, Patrick Darwin. Very good cricketer, superb cricketer. And a better bloke, just a champion bloke, back from Perth, where he'd been working a while in his job.
So that means, just looking at that, if you want it from a live ladder perspective, it means that the Lions are probably odds-on favourites to finish on top of their pool.
I think so at that score level. 1 run there, just the single.
And yeah, the Rosellas the Waratahs will come second, and Rosellas will come third.
With a massive quotient.
With a massive quotient, so there's no question about them going through. Interestingly for them, so West played 1 game and trounced Toronto, as we know. Haven't had to play another one, and their quotient won't even need to come into effect just because they're sneaked through just on 6 points alone. But bizarre, very bizarre. And to recap, in Pool
Slow
A,
one. Are they going to push for a double here? That ball's on the ring. No, Park gets in quickly and Motors kept it to a single. Single to Abel.
so Pool A, the two teams confirmed going through the Sea Dragons and the Pumas. They won't have anyone else. And then Pool B, which is this one, the Tigers and the Sabres will finish on top, equal on 9 points. And then obviously the result of this game will impact whether it is the Whips or the Seagulls that go through. Now, if you look at those percentages, not as
Yeah, okay. That's close. Well, Seagulls have done the bottom though. That's the problem. That's a
But
massive percentage.
that's before today's result.
Right, fair enough.
Yep.
So that makes a big difference.
So it might close the gap a bit. So that,
Might get a score check from me once that at the end of this over, please.
yep.
Throws that one wide. He's good enough to get that at the backward point. Lucas Sargent chases and chases hard and keeps that to a double. Well fielded Sargent. Lovely back drive through backward point there. So score comes on to 6 for 75. So this partnership's doing a very good job. Abel is 22, Bowd is 14. And just checking those overs gone. It's a 16.5 or 15.6, sorry.
So it's 16 overs gone.
16 overs. So 24 rocks left. And I was talking to Cal Gabriel earlier on, and I did think Cal fished on. He said that 100 to 100 tends to be reasonable at the moment. They could very well get there. Foster will want to try and get results out of this. Now he's going to take a risk here. Interestingly, he's going to bowl a left arm wrist spinner to two left-handers. Kelly will, he may bowl one or two at least, but he's also going to cause a few issues on this pitch.
So where does Kelly play on Saturdays? Is he?
Seconds.
He's in seconds. Yeah, I thought he's a captain in twos. Is he?
No, Lincoln Melmore's the captain.
Oh, Melbourne. Sorry. Okay.
Left arm wrist spin. First ball LBW. He gets Abel for 22. That ball didn't bounce at all. Hit him shin height at best, going for the sweep. So that's 7 for 75. No doubt about that. Fisher going back out again. He's got 23 rocks. He got some runs at the end of the last innings, and he played one ridiculously fluent inside-out off drive that went into orbit over Eastern Current. Oh, it's been a good day of cricket here today.
The scorecards out. Those three runouts at the in the top five have really
100%.
pulled the heart out of their chance to build a total.
Yes.
But since then, that was a small little partnership. That's just got them back on track a little bit.
Absolutely.
But how many wickets did the Whips win by?
7? Bailey and Cook. I reckon Cook was number 5. I reckon it's 3 down. They've got him. 3 for 106. I reckon they might have ended up something like that.
3 for 106. Yeah, he's spot on. Look at you go. Hey, memory recall. We've talked about that all day, haven't we?
No, we haven't. You have. I'm not that word.
See, I would say if you're looking to close the gap here, Seagulls to close on the Whips, or your best chance of doing it is to not lose a wicket in that run chase.
Get the runs, none or one down.
Yeah.
So Kelly now bowling to a right-hander, and the new batsman that's Fisher. That's right. Short's Fisher.
So that means that earlier today, you know, that obviously favourable.
That's not a big percentage win, but that's not a massive quotient for the creator.
Rolling them Whips out for 116 is,
The 10 wickets is important.
yeah.
Cut shot for no runs, just in.
But whatever you guys gain as a positive, they'll also gain as a loss on the quotient too, so it does
both
close
ways.
that gap. Yeah, so
And again, the 10 wickets are important.
Yeah,
So
huge.
Stockton cleared them up.
Yep.
That should be a single to Park, who's sitting there at G Packet Square. Always an absolute no-brainer with a left arm wrist spinner. 7 for 76. Kelly back bowling to Bow, the left-hander. I wonder if Bow is going to drop onto one knee and try and whack him onto the fill over there, mid-wicket. Let's have a look. Oh, fully. just over Foster at short mid wicket. Just the singles, the 3 run outs. You can understand the being touch gun shy there, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Then overlook Stockton, Aaron Gray and David Redden with you. Ice streaming, third of the Big Bash summer games today. Some of the Big Bash games, I think we've got Seagulls Fisher. Let's head out to deep cover.
So obviously, just talk a bit about the frog box. If I can, Dave, just to mention to anyone who is listening that, he's walked past that.
So another wicket to Kelly there, stumping to poor Kelly, not Jake Hainsworth. So that's 8 for 78.
Yeah, so the frog box obviously is an investment on the NDCA's behalf to just try and help promote cricket locally.
Yep.
Get all the clubs promoted through some local cricket content. So we're here today, and thanks for your time commentating.
It's been a pleasure.
Representing not only the very proud club you come from, but also pulling on the expertise as our conceptual trial to see if commentary will work. And I think hopefully the listeners out there have gained something by having some people talk in their ear all day as they watch. But yeah, obviously when we go around the grounds over time, we'd love to see clubs jump on board and commentate. We'd love to have you back, Dave, if you're around for a quarter final next week, if you can be available.
I'd love to. I'd love to do that
finals.
morning game. I probably will have to get on down to Sydney for Plan B business in the afternoon. But if you'll have me back, I'd love to. And I think I'd love to see this. I don't know. I hope you don't mind me talking about this, but not only in the Summer Bash, but if there was an opportunity for, I'm not talking about me commentating, I'm talking about the viewers watching. If there was opportunity in the finals, in the grade finals, that'd be a smart move. I mean, again, I'd love. I'm hoping Stockton be there, in which case I'd be pretty busy. But it's great commentating. It's a real treat, and thank you for having me so much. I do appreciate it.
No,
I'm very grateful, but it's great fun.
It absolutely is our intention to use this in the finals for the 2-day comp. But
the 2-day comp, yeah.
Yeah, we're also going to actually give it a go on West v Hemwicks. I think is Saturday week. Next Saturday.
T20. Sorry, not the other guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next Saturday, is it?
Yes, it is. They've got Hamwicks.
Yep.
I think at Harker.
Yeah, Western. So we're going to give it a trial there and just see how it goes over the 2-day, with a couple of stoppages. There's a few, things. Obviously, it's all integrated with the My Cricket, but
he's hit that inside-out shot again. He loves going there. That might be 4.
He's gapped it.
It is indeed. Doesn't mind that inside-out shot at all. Inside out. Full toss from Foster and whacks him over to cover. Yeah, look, I think it's great for people if you're going to give it a trial on the 2 days. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we're just going to trial it. There's obviously a bunch of little things we've got to iron out to get it right for the final series. So
single to Fisher after the boundary. Smart cricket. 83 for 5. 83 for 8. I beg your pardon. 83 for 8. So 3 men on the leg side fence for Foster, bowling to Gibson.
So in the 18th over, similar position to where they were against the Whips. They managed to get through to 101.
Correct. That's actually quite bizarre. That's almost identical, actually. It's almost an identical run scoring,
So yeah,
Fisher got an important 25 knot at the end of that innings, actually. Slower one.
Obviously 101
single to Gibson there for an outside edge.
101 wasn't enough in the prior game, but speaking to their captain Josh Trappel at the end of that innings, his words were, well, at least it's something to bowl at.
So it is.
It's certainly you're in the game, but this wicket only looks like it's gotten better and better all day as the more sun has shined. So if I was a betting man, which maybe I am, maybe I'm not, I'd probably be having my money on Stockton.
The bloke behind us is probably the bloke you want to consult on having a quiet punt.
Yeah, right.
That being Adrian Chadd of the Toronto Cricket Club and the Lake Makataxi.
Keep that in mind.
Yes, he's the one we speak to about the lines and
about the lines. Okay.
Foster getting that into his pad, and that's over. Foster's got 1 for 24 off his set of 4 overs, and the score is 84 for 8. So left to bowl. Sargent's got overs left, I'm sure. And is Sargent going to come on and bowl this last over at the southern end? No, he's going to stick with Kelly. He got him 2 wickets in last over. That's good to see. And it'll be Gibson facing the left arm wrist spinner bowling to the left-hander.
Do you think it mattered who was on strike then, the lefty on strike? Do you think that's why he's gone with Kelly for one more?
100%. 100%. No doubt in my mind at all. But
so right-hander on strike would have gone.
He might have gone with someone else. He might have gone with Sargent bowling left arm round the wicket to him. But Gibson facing Kelly here. That might be a wide first ball, and is. Gibson facing Kelly. That ball skids on a bit. Kelly's got a couple of different deliveries. He's got a wrong one. He's got one that goes straight at the front of the hand, which I think that one might have been. Then he's got his traditional left arm wrist spinner. Bit too full there. Gibson gets another educated outside edge. Park's got to go. Gets down low to stop it to skip it to 1. Single there to Gibson. Now, if Kelly's got the brain in gear, he won't be giving Fisher width outside off stump. If he does, he needs to get his man back. So he's got a man at deep cover who's wide. It is a brave. So Foster's going back on the ring to cover, but that's Fisher's go-to area, is the cover boundary. Goes straight with the fully. Gibson might come back for a double. He didn't get that sweep. Ganninen's got a nice arm and keeps it to 1. 8 for 89. Kelly now bowling to Gibson again. Short. Comes on straight to him. Might have been the wrong one. Correction with the score. It's actually 87 for 8. I beg your pardon. I thought that said 89. 87 for 8. 2 to go in this last over. Second last over. Penultimate over, sorry. That's bowled him. That's a Jaffa. Beautiful. Gets him in length.
3 wickets for Kelly.
Yeah, 3 for 15 now, Kelly. And that's 9 down. Lovely length here. Just gets it right up on the crease.
Interesting going into this with at least 3 spinners.
Lenovo. And well, that was, and with number 1 strike bowler to come back from injury next week in Tom O'Neill.
Yep.
Chosen a side that they thought was the right for this pitch and so forth. And as it's turned out, it's been a wise choice.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. I'm not that funny. I'll leave the humour to you and your mate back over here. He's wearing a dreadful, I might add, Oklahoma City Thunder hat. Absolutely dreadful, Chatty. What are you doing? I think they'd be the only team in history that would have divested themselves of Russell Westbrook, James Harden and Kevin Durant in a 4-year period. Remarkable.
And for more anecdotes, you can find Redder's Sportscast on Spotify. He loves to break down some of the American sports.
When you have the great privilege of living in America, when I did at a right age, when you start to really follow sport, and ever since I was 13 when we lived over there.
Right.
I've loved it ever since, and I watch very closely. I'm always an avid follower of ESPN.com and watch all the sports. I don't basketball watch, but not overly interested in hockey, but I love the baseball and the football. And I watch more basketball now, I must admit. I find basketball really interesting.
Well, they're certainly blessed with the amount of sport they get over there. It's on every day of the week.
Yeah, you've got a country of 330 million people with a lot of cities. And that, I think, was a bump ball. And that's Kelly's spell done. 3 for 15 off 3 overs. That is a superb spell from Paul Kelly. The score is 87 for 9. Last over here. Now, who's going to bowl it? Will it be Lucas Sargent? Just waiting to see. Or is it... It looks like Sargent walking over to me. You can see the ink on the arms. It'll be Louis. Lucas Sargent to finish off here. The ball come left arm around. Oh, now what? To the left-hander. No, we've got two right-handers. Guess right. Gibson's out, so he'll probably come left arm around, stay there. What I would do, I'm not sure if the thinking caps are on fully, but I would have a man down at that extra cover, and where those green shrubs out, just to the right of screen. I'd have another man on the fence.
Is this the guy that was giving
Inside
a
out.
tap over the
That's
covers?
the one.
Yeah, okay.
Inside out. Fisher. $87 for 9, the flood.
So Fisher will be on strike.
He will. Still think. So Foster's got, let's see, the ring fieldsmen are short third man, short fine leg. Foster will go into that in the hole there in the slot at mid wicket, and there's extra cover on the fence. So judging by what Fisher's done earlier, it's that extra cover spot. If Sargent gives him any width, he'll go inside out. He does have a man at cover, but at extra cover where there's a gap. Sargent to Fisher. Inside out again, but this one straight down the ground along off. Just the single. 88 for 9. Sargent sticking with his left arm around the wicket. At the end of this over, Aaron and I have just a short break to rest the tonsils. Just the dot ball there, straight to Foster at mid-wicket from King. Probably needs to get the head in gear and drop a single at his feet here, Aaron, and get Fisher the strike for the last 3 rocks if he can.
Yeah, given the way he gave.
Yeah.
Hit a couple of other screws last match.
Yeah.
Gets them to 100 hopefully, but
Slower ball. Might be a leg by here. Waiting on the umpire. It is a leg by. 3 to go in the innings. That's 89, is it, or 88, big fella?
90, I think.
90, it's gone to 90 now, is it? Just been the 2 singles in this over. It is
89.
89. 3 to go. Can Fisher get them to 100? Short, and takes the pace off it, and very difficult to hit those. You know the best exponent of that particular ball that I've seen in all of my time in Newcastle cricket? Mitchell Clayton. And he made a first-class career out of being able to bowl deaf and bowl into the pitch and just dying. He was a specialist at it. He was actually an outstanding limited overs bowler, Mitch Clayton, particularly at T20. Great to watch. Gets that inside out. Straight down to long off though. One bounce.
It's an umpiring. Oh, they're both at the same end.
No, that single counts. That single counts. So that should be 9 for 90. 1 ball to go in the innings. Hainsworth has those barrels off in a flash, but I think he was actually home. By my calcs, it's the last over of the innings. Last ball of the innings, sorry. So certainly the last over. Should be 0.5 gone. It is. So 9 for 90. Last ball for King. And then we'll have a short break in commentary just to give ourselves a quick rest and come back for Stockton's innings. Seagulls innings, sorry. King finishes that off with a massive 6 over the roof. Wrong length, long line, and King takes advantage, swinging from the hills. 9 for 96, the Maitland flood finish. 9 for 96. Stockton will come, Seagulls will come back in a few minutes chasing 97. Aaron and I have a short break, and we'll be back with you for the second innings here at Lynn Oval in Stockton.
Thanks, Dave.
Welcome back to Lynn Oval with Stockton chasing down 97 for victory. Cal Gabriel with the new rock, bowling from the southern end. Keith Moody on strike and Nick Foster off strike. With me as always, Aaron Gray. Aaron, welcome back.
Thank you, Dave. Did you get a nice beverage in the break?
Got a water.
It's really heating up now out here, isn't it? It's been a
Been
beautiful day here, and it's just gotten hotter and hotter as the day has gone on. And
It actually has.
we're now actually getting some direct sunlight just creeping in under our table here and hitting the skin. So, not complaining though. We've got a full day of cricket in, and if you'd said that to me at 9 o'clock this morning, I would have thought that was fairly unlikely.
Full toss first ball. Threlford does very well. These may be wides, Aaron, to start. So
They
2
are.
wides to start. Moody will actually be filthy there. He got missed a full toss at hip height, just above the hip height outside leg stump. Any bat that's 4.
Remember you used to have, there's no incentive to run that wide once upon a time. It used to just be a one run
Whereas now-
regardless.
and it was actually a risk because it was a run out. Now you get full value. And
Yeah. Seems silly that it was never the way it was, but
Well, that's a
Shot.
lovely shot from Foster, going for 1. And an easy double. The same with, if you remember, no balls were the same.
yep,
You bowl a no ball and get hit for a boundary 4 and it was 4.
you would only consider running one of those extras if you knew you were going to get 2.
Correct. There's no point in doing this, just it's not worth the risk. Now, it's totally different. I like the addition, I must admit, on the
Well,
fair.
I mean, of course, there's an incentive to do
Another wide, I suspect.
what
Hello,
you should
Magoo.
do.
Cap. It's good to catch up with Cal Gabriel. I've had some good guest people in today. Adrian Chad's been in for a good chat. Josh Chappell was good enough to come and have a chat with us.
Did we end up getting anyone from Belmont in? I don't think we did we?
No, we didn't. We were trying to line up Cussy, but he
Yeah,
wasn't gonna, he
he's
didn't.
not
He
here.
had the day off today, Cussy.
It's
Straight drive from Foster.
very well constructed off drive there from Foster. Had a quick chat to him between the innings just to see what their plan was. Don't know if you did, but
I did.
you did. Yeah. I'm happy to reveal because I don't think anyone will.
I don't think it's a secret. Go for your life.
They're well.
That
Well,
might
Miss-
be 4. if
He
he's
may
got-
have. Go.
And his lovely little leg lance. Go ahead.
He may have concealed what he was thinking to me, but he just wanted to worry about winning the game first. I don't know if they were in a scenario.
Asked about quotient and as to his net run rate, and as you've spoken about, repeated it today, it is quotient. It is not the runs are important, but it is a full quotient calculation in the summer batch this year. Gabriel to Foster. Might be another wide. It is. So that's 10 in the over so far. Very good start for Stockton.
I'm not sure if you can see on camera. No, you can't. Just to right of camera, you've got a band and a beer garden theme going on those bowling greens, and I think they're starting to get a little bit vocal.
Foster going for a quick single off a fully from Gabriel. Gets through. I can think of worse ways to spend Sunday afternoon. I mean, I'm enjoying being in commentary, but having a quiet ale in this breeze over there, very nice.
No, absolutely. A nice
Oh,
view
by the way, I
there.
didn't ask. How'd you go at the races? On the races that were on, did you end up, down, or evens?
Oh, on the punt,
Yes.
no, like 99% of people on race day, I was with them. No joy. Had one small little winner from a punters club, but not enough to recoup all of the outgoings.
How are Delilah and J Bag
Oh.
going? Are they both well?
They're well, yeah. Tara's little 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, they keep me busy. So.
Moody gets it inside edge to that one. That's a very good first over for the Seagulls. I do beg your pardon. I should technically refer to them as their correct names in this competition.
Oh, that's okay. No, Jago and Delilah, The two that keep me on my toes, well, that and Nag, who's my wife, Natalie.
Nag.
She got the unfortunate initials of NAG, so
Natalie Allison.
Natalie Ann. Great.
And
So,
with an E or without an E?
hyphenated without an E.
Now, thinking of spinners coming on here, I checked out who the keeper was. We didn't actually do that last thing. Threlfo's got fantastic hands. If Tom Goth was ever injured, he would be a walk-up start to be the Central Northern keeper. Now, this is Francis, who Josh Chappell was telling us earlier today when he was kind enough to step in and have a good. It was actually good to talk to Josh. Francis is one of the better players in the entire Mountain Comp at the moment. Dependable, and as Chappell said, and I think I spoke about this before, he can set a field to him because he knows what he's going to do. He's reliable. Nick Foster actually thinks the same way about Josh Geary as a reliable, trustworthy cricketer who he knows what you're going to get through him.
He's got a very fast arm action for a spinner.
Yeah,
like
and a short run up.
Yeah, just whips his arm through. But you know, you'd have to agree with Trappell's summation. He's hit the spot every ball.
Yes.
So he's obviously very clear plans.
Nice length. Makes Moody hit straight.
Obviously, we didn't get to see him bat this innings because he got a is it a black duck? What's the duck?
I think it's in the call of diamond duck when you get run out without facing ball. Is that right?
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. It's one of the two.
Yeah. I think it is.
But in the first game, he looked promising, didn't he? He got
did.
25 or 25, and
Josh
looked
Chappell
like he was just about to. So it looked like he was just about to kick on when he got out in the first match. But
100%, he was just ready to go, and then he actually put the foot down and didn't. Maybe when they had to is fair, but Francis to Foster gets a nice little educated edge, and Moody gets home. Threlfo has got absolutely lightning hands, Aaron Gray. Geez, quick. When you get Josh Trappell down and talking to one-on-one on cricket, he's actually quite astute tactically, and he understands the game particularly. He's got an intelligent cricket brain, and he knows what he's trying to achieve. And like all good skippers, he can't always do it, but he's got a very keen eye on and understands the game very well.
Yeah, I've good friends with Michael Heinrich, who plays at City United in Maitland, and
single to Moody.
Speaks very highly of Josh and Matt Trappell, of course, but Josh in just the way he's come back with this great sense of humility and been great for the development of younger players in their club. So Michael's obviously a stalwart these days, you know, in late 30s and played a lot of cricket, but yeah, he's got many nice things to say about both the Trappells, but we're talking about Josh here and the way Josh has approached it. He's returned to the Maitland comp after playing in Newcastle for probably 10 years. So.
With Hamilton Wickham. I'll tell you how I know that I'll tell you one particular incident that you'll remember this particularly well. A very famous grand final, Hamilton Wickham and Merriweather, but Merriweather won in the first innings by a run. And at the end of the second day, the over rates had been slow, so then that's been kind. And it was getting very dim, and the administrators put the lights on at number one sports game because it was quite dim, and I think it might have been after daylight saving had finished. And Hamwicks had 10 overs to go to get 70 or 80, something along those lines. And they asked Josh Chappell, do you want to play the last 10 overs under lights? And circling at the far end with 5 overs left to bowl was Mark Cameron with a rock that wasn't very old in dim light, and Josh Chappell said, no, we'll come back. And they actually came back, as you know, and played on the Good Friday with a very big crowd for that last 10 overs, very big. Lovely bowling from Gabriel right on the slot, and that's where Newcastle cricket's just a little bit different than some of the other comps around the place. With the grand final, yourselves and the other people in NDCA have set it up that if the grand final doesn't get 100 overs, 80 overs played, and this year's another example is that Easter Friday's early, they can go into the third day to get a game. And in fact, when West played Merriweather in a grand final a couple of years ago, Saturday was washed out, so they played Sunday, Saturday grand final the following week. Got to go. He was gone if he hit by miles. Moody taking a cheeky single, just a bit too cheeky. But that particular game, I actually was live scoring has just started to come out. I did a bit of live scoring in PA in that game, and I couldn't be there on the Friday. I had other commitments, actually up in Orange to see the family, and I was very keen to watch the live score. And I think Michael Connolly did it. And I'm not sure about that, but it was great. But yeah, came back on the third day. So Newcastle's got a third day if they need it, and in Canberra they actually play 3-day semis and 3-day grand finals, but they have 3-4 days.
They do that in Sydney as well, don't they? 3 days?
I think so. They used to play 4-day finals in Sydney, but I think it's now 3.
Yeah, I feel like they start on the Friday.
They do, they start, and so do Canberra, but Canberra do it semi and grand.
Ooh,
Lovely
good
bouncer from
bouncer,
Gabriel, that's a
jeez.
beauty.
Certainly caught Foster by surprise. He was almost jumping like he was going to get the hands high and play it down.
Yeah.
And last minute, he's had to get everything out of the way. So
It's interesting, he loves playing on the offside, but playing pull and hook shots is not normally part of his repertoire. He would usually let that go. Adrian Chad, the guy sitting behind us, however, is a different kettle of fish. He doesn't mind playing a pull shot, the great man. Full toss, gets it straight. No run. Score check here is 18 for none in the third. I tell you, Oss is a very good exponent of pull shot because he's got lightning feet. He's Jed's like Macquarie teammate Jed Dixon. He loves playing a pull shot, particularly through right in front of just right on the camera shot through this area here. Jed Dixon loves playing almost a front foot pull shot pull there. That's an exquisite shot through cover. He does like him through there. I'd like $1 for each. Yeah, like $1 for each boundary he's hit through there in his career in Stockton. I reckon he'll be a rich man. 22 for none, Stockton. Last ball boundary.
yeah, interesting career with Foster's batting, because obviously for probably up until he was in his 30s, I would have thought he just tended to bat sort of 8-9.
Yep.
Didn't know. It was very valuable lower order bat. Plenty of times both saved from coming in tough situations and pulled them out, but also capitalised on some strong positions at times. But he'd have a first grade ton or a couple, wouldn't he?
He made his first grade ton at Newcastle City this year. He has a first grade 99. I'll tell you a story about his first grade 99 in a minute.
Right.
Moody should be out. Dropped.
Oh. Tree of knowledge is awake.
The gauge road's starting to kick in over in the Tree of Knowledge. Moody charging in the outside edge to one, and a relatively simple catch dropped at point. So Uni are playing Stockton, and Stockton were batting a second time, and Stockton batted out time, and Nick Foster was batting and got into the 90s. Never made a first grade 100. Dropped short, that's 4. Moody taking toll of the loose one. And on comes Liam McKechnie to bowl at half rat power, probably about the pace that you and I would bowl, Aaron. And Nick's facing him, gets dropped at slip on 99. Next ball, he bowls at just short of a length. Hits him underneath the knee roll, on the back foot. Tip Paul old Terry's got to give you out salmon trout for 99. It was plumb too.
Did he know he was on 99?
Yeah, I think he did. Moody goes with another pull shot. It's gone to that long boundary.
Oh, he's rolled into the fence there.
Whacked into the fence and kept it in very brave fielding. That's 3 to Moody. And then he scored his first grade 100 this year at Newcastle City at Learmonth.
Oh, good. So, as I say, like, you know, he's just gotten better and better, obviously, with his batting. And probably, I thought, batted too low for a long time.
Well, Adrian's here with us. He played a match-winning innings in that last one-day game, didn't he? He went at 36 not out, but he batted low down the order and got us to a total against ACT.
So me and Nick are the same age. We came through junior reps together.
Ah,
And
okay.
interestingly, me and Nick used to open the bowling for Newcastle. I'm going back under 13s, 14s, 15s.
And he bowled seam-up stuff then, did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
as did I. And we both batted low. I should have kept batting low. But anyway, he converted to off-spin, probably, I reckon, at the age of 16 or 17, and was in men's Newcastle team soon after. I'm not going to say next year, but certainly at a young age he was in the Newcastle.
He would have to be one of the only Newcastle cricketers in history to play zone cricket, being chosen straight out of second grade.
Okay.
He was in seconds at the time and got chosen.
Yeah, right.
We played Western Zone played a final on the same day that Anthony Mundine had his first world title fight against Sven Otke at Newcastle #1. And Fozzie played then. He was a little short tubby fella then, and I think that might have been his first or second state final. And Newcastle made 307 off 60 overs, and Western got him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we had a couple of guys nipping at our heels by the name of Littlewood and Gilmore. So I tried another art, and he went to spin. He's worked out, and I didn't.
Mark Littlewood is one of the toughest, hardest cricketers I have ever seen. He and Simon Morris cut out the same cloth, I reckon. Just doesn't give you an inch, Aaron. I learned a lot from but being around people like he and Shane Burley and Nick Foster and some of the others, Simon Moore. I've just learned a lot about what it takes to be a cricketer. I was never good myself, but goodness me, I learned a lot from watching them. I wish I'd have had exposure to people like that. I don't think I'd ever played Newcastle first grade, to be quite frank. But I think that's a blunt appraisal. But just being around them, it's just an experience. You just learn so much. Gibson bowling well here. The score's in 29.
Yeah, it's
just their hardness and how they go about it and their dedication to being excellent. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, similarly, I probably didn't get exposure.
That won't go this time.
Just going to pull up short. 2, they don't want 3, just 2. Yeah, I didn't really get exposure, although Simon Moore was my first grade captain over at Cardiff. But I was too young to really absorb, it was only a very short period of time, but fast track maybe 10 years, and I played under a guy by the name of Paul Toole. Chatty sitting behind me, he played under as well, and you learn a lot playing under a guy like that for 4 or 5 years, and it just changes the whole way you approach a game, and your tactics and your planning and your decision making and why you might do certain things, and thinking about matching your field setting with your bowling plan. I know that sounds like such an elementary thing, but
I know that in the current Newcastle representative system, I've been fortunate enough to play as a support act, to be a support act off field for Shane Burley, and the way he approaches the mental side of the game, preparation, calmest man in the room, and things like that.
I've heard that he's a good man manager.
And that sort of, and I watch the guys react to that and how he goes about things, and it's fascinating. And Jed Dixon, who's become a very good coach of our Colt side, is the same, and tries to take a lot of those lessons learned.
Right, so the scenario here,
this is Abel, I think, who bowled nice left arm cutters this morning, and about the Adrian Chad pace, taking his pace off of a few, bowling a few medium paces. Chaddy doesn't like it when I call him a fast off spinner, by the way, Aaron.
Chaddy
doesn't like it at all.
Chaddy's just sinking into his seat back there, thinking he's the same pace as this guy. That's good. Anyway, I'll leave that there.
I've just been told to be careful, so I've got the Lake Mac captain. I'll be very careful. I don't want to disenfranchise. I've worked very hard at getting on his good side. He's a good man. Always been very polite and respectful. There might be a double here. He's got that to the ring. Yep, Foster's picked that up. Very good running there.
So the key here for Stockton, I know we've probably
just keep playing.
Going back over old ground here, but on the quotient system, the key for them here is to win without losing a wicket. So
exactly right. 34 for none so far. Too short. That's got top spin. That'll go even to the long boundary.
It's an unusual. Oh,
he actually got there. I do beg your pardon, everyone. Great chase, Fisher. 3 runs, Moody. Whereas normally, even that out long boundary, that's an easy 4 here. That just goes to show that it's a bit heavier in the outfield.
So we're still in a power play T20 match, and normally, instinctively, you're just looking to keep progressing the game. But
don't need to.
In this scenario, I would
just keep on hitting the loose ball, keep on taking singles, and don't do anything silly.
Stick to high percentage shots, and if you get out, you get out, but don't throw it away.
Correct.
So we
Aaron
might,
Gray and David Redden here with you on live streaming, watching the Maitland Flood and the Seagulls. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was just going to ask if, just to confirm, we've got you back on deck next Sunday for a game. Well, it'll depend on probably a couple of things, whether it's at the game the Seagulls are at, if they're in it. And
I have some interesting choices to make. Certainly if the Seagulls get an afternoon set, I'm going to have to delay my trip to Sydney. I have a job to do.
Yep.
I'll negotiate with the great Stephen Mason, see if he can assist there. But if the Seagulls aren't, then my duty would be to get down there as early as I can. Oh, well done with his foot there. That's legitimate. For those of you that aren't aware of the rules of cricket, Foster there, you trying to use his foot, this ball nearly bowled him, but he used his foot to try and kick it away, which is completely legitimate. I'm just watching the replay and uses his foot there judiciously. But no, if you'll have me back, I'd love to do that morning game.
Oh, yeah, we'll get you on whenever we can. So whenever you're available and providing it works in. But yeah, just for everyone else out there, we will be streaming the quarterfinals next week. It looks like I think there's going to be 4 different venues, so we can only stream from one as it is at the moment. So we'll try and bring to you.
Oh, so they're not going to play double headers at different grounds?
Sorry, there will be 2 grounds. So 4.
I wasn't sure. I thought you made reference to that earlier. I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to predict things that are out of line. So.
Yeah.
Gibson
My
bowling
maths
again.
isn't my strong suit, obviously.
37 for none here. Gibson on. Power play done. Throws that one out wide. That's a lovely shot, Moody. Has that got enough to get to the cones? It does. 4 runs, Keith Moody. 41 is the score. Well, that's not live. That's a recording over there. I can tell you that's the album version of that song. In the 70s, some disco
What
there.
song have we got for those that can't hear, Dave?
Hi. That's Earth, Wind and Fire, I'd suggest, is the band. Had an entourage bigger than Floyd Mayweather, they did. Massive. Single to Moody. Those of you unlucky enough to live through, that's a wide. Those of you unlucky enough to live through the disco era will certainly remember Earth, Wind and Fire. Cool on the gang. The stack of them there.
So just a quick score check from the other game.
Cheeky single there. Moody backing up on the front foot. Single to Foster.
Just a quick score check over at Townsend Oval. So the Magic finished 6 for 71 off their 20 overs. I can only assume that was off 20, yep.
Now, am I right in thinking that if the Lions progress and win that game comfortably, that they finish first in the pool? Sweep shot from Moody's aggressive and excellent. 4 runs, Moody behind square.
Yeah, I don't think they even need to win convincingly. They just need to win. It'll give them enough points to go into first on their pool. So
You've got to think that pitch has got a bit in it with 6 for 71. What are they chasing? 1 for 21 early?
1 for 21.
Egan out, is he?
Egan's out, yeah. Moulton and Dunn, John O'Dunn are in.
John O'Dunn, I'll get on with it.
You're right, the game, mate. You're not in picture. It's a lot tighter, yeah. It's all good.
Misfield there. Easy single, Moody. We'll get a score check here in a minute at the end of the over. 7 overs gone. Sitting close to 50. 49 is it with that single? Should flick over on the score deck. 49 it is after 7. Stockton halfway. Seagulls halfway. I've got Duckworth Lewis set up at about 10 minutes ago. I was thinking I'm going to have to rush over and do a calc. I thought that'd get feral, but it's gone right around us.
Oh, we've been blessed there.
Oh, we have been
On
blessed.
screen at the moment, it does look a bit overcast, but it's not really telling the full picture because everywhere else but what's on screen is pretty much blue. So we've got, I don't think any risk of rain, in my opinion, but
Able to Moody. Too short. Didn't get it though. Got that on the stickers. 1. And 2 to Moody through mid-wicket. Francis doing the chasing. There's actually much less cars than there were here earlier on the day, thankfully. Able to Moody again. little delicate late cut, but hits it straight down King. Hits it down to King at short third man. 51 the score, 46 more to get for Stockton. Then it comes down to the calculators. Dot ball waiting on the bay, good backing up there, so good aggressive cricket from the flood. Abel again from the northern end. Short and 4. Rolls his wrist over that one, gets tops in. It should go into that boundary and does now. 4 runs Moody. But one of the problems is if you're trying to bowl at cutters into the pitch is if you get it wrong slightly, especially if it's short, it just sits up waiting to be hit. I know you're a very strong back foot player. You'd love people bowling in that sort of area too. That's just money for jam.
Yeah, they sit up nicely, don't they?
Got that fine. That's 1. It won't go. 2.
Foster's happy with 2.
Foster's happy with 2. Senior pro, just taking it easy. Both of these players have actually played in England. Sutton for Nick Foster and Peltor for Keith Moody. Everybody that goes over speaks in raptures about their experiences of playing in England. Moody putting the foot down.
It's 4 off the bat, I would have thought.
And it might hold up here.
Oh, it has. Jeez. Of all the shots in this over, I thought that was probably the one that was cleanest hit.
Fisher with another good chase with the Courtney Walsh throw in with the bowling the ball in. That'll be 59 at the end of the over. Off 8.
Oh,
Stockton go along nicely here.
On track here at Nunfa.
Yeah,
I'm not sure on the exact calculation, but I would suggest your best chance of sneaking through here for the Seagulls to knock the whips off is to do it no wickets down.
And that has a significant effect on quotient. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to get the calculators. I'd leave that to the great administrator to announce what's going on.
Well, that's right. Yeah, the only thing that can hurt Stockton here is losing wickets.
How does it work with 8 teams? So I'm supposing that the top 4 sides become the top 4 seeds. So the top 3 pool leaders, they're the top 3 seeds, and then the 4th seed would be the best place, second place side, I suppose. Is that how you think it'll work?
I don't know. There was
that makes sense.
There was something broadcast to the clubs like through email. I'd probably need to go and revisit that, but I do get the feeling that once they've determined who the 8 teams are, they then put them into one ladder within the top 8, I think. I could be wrong.
You would have to. And then 1v8, 2v7, 3v6, 4v5 would be the natural progression of it.
Yeah. The only thing with that, obviously, I guess the thing...
Moody might be looking for a double here, Aaron, and is...
The only thing, typically with pool cricket, is when you go into the finals, you play against someone not in your pool. That's usually the one guarantee. They probably can't be a guarantee of that through this model because it's impossible. There was only 3 pools and there's 4 games. So
yes,
inevitably someone's going to have to play someone that was already in the pool that they may have already beaten or lost. So yeah, it's and for anyone listening, it is necessarily complicated because we have a 15-team competition. So it's impossible to get everything in equals.
Correct. You only get evenness when you have 8 or 16.
So full credit to our hard-working fixtures and permits committee who put plenty of time.
Single to Moody. Excuse me, Aaron, would you take control just for a minute, please?
So yeah, it's necessarily complicated. Yep, Francis bowling here. Picked a single off on the offside. To Foster. So Moody's on 43. He certainly dominated the scoring. Foster's been playing the rotation role at the other end. So just trickling along. Not too much has happened since you walked away, Dave, so you haven't missed much.
64 is the score. Make that 65.
So the same. Moody's dominated the scoring in the partnership. Foster just played the role of rotating.
And you can see that he's actually actively looking for nudges and singles and so forth. So quarterfinals next week, and then on Valentine's Day, semi-final in the one day. Is that how it works?
There's no better way to spend a Valentine's Day, is there? Than get along
Absolutely.
and have a
No
watch
way. God, no.
You know,
Have to be an early start too, to get 3 games in the one day. So
well, it'll be a similar format to this, I'd say. 9 o'clock, 12
9,
o'clock,
12, 3. That my memory when we called the finals on Bar TV a couple of years ago, it ended up being Pumas and Magpies. Yeah, Daniel Arms had a day up. Yeah, no, Charlestown and Hammocks it was, and then we called them. I think I was in live scoring for that. And then I came and helped with commentary at the end. Yes, sir. .65 is the score. So watch this space. Watch the Newcastle District Cricket Association Facebook page for advice on games. Keep in touch. Look also at the NDCA website. Also the My Cricket app. Just keep an eye on when games are scheduled and fixtured and keep up to date with everything.
I'd say they'll work hard tomorrow on getting that finalised, and it'll be up. I would say Tuesday's a conservative slot. But look, you know, given the fact that there's been a bunch of games washed out today, they might have already got 3/4 of their work done, and you might be surprised with an earlier announcement. But yeah, certainly we endeavour to get it.
Oh, it's a bunger.
Oh, geez, a keeper.
That is a waist-high full toss and a lock and load. So
that's got to.
Well, it was a chest-high full toss actually.
Oh, the keeper who's shaking his hand. It's got to hurt.
That's why keepers wear helmets, ladies and gentlemen. King's first rock. That's almost going past Moody's shoulder. Now Moody's not a very tall man, but that's a reason that keepers wear helmets.
So this
Lock
is
and
Harry
load. This is
King,
a free hit. Yeah, very well bowled. Just gets the dot out of a free hit. So well bowled, King.
So the second free hit we've seen today, and both been dots.
Correct. I think Paul Kelly might have bowled a full toss. Did he not?
Yeah, I think that was the other one.
In the first game.
Yeah.
He kept it, and he hit the ball at the same area. Good pacing innings. Single there to Moody.
I sense Foster's obviously out there in control, but seems to me like they've put the shots away and they're just going to keep going here and try and get this 10-wicket victory.
Oh, that's clear that they're not taking any risks at all. Moody's played some expressive shots, but some of the bowling, some of the balls he's played
deservedly,
that. Foster has not taken a risk that I can remember. One of the little dinky shots outside off stump, but he's just played like that.
Oh.
Should be a double here.
Bit of a misfield in the covers there.
No, Moody says no. Gabriel's got a good arm. Good decision from Moody. 68's the score. Yes, well,
So
if the Whips and the Seagulls are the 8th place, Aaron, on quotient, which is a very good chance, then they could actually have the draw coming out quite quickly. Straight drive for Moody. Gabriel scoots across from extra cover and cuts it off for 1.
I'll just get you to weigh in on the of a question without notice.
Yes.
Pink ball cricket. Do you think it's something we should be looking at transitioning to white ball cricket?
You happy for me to give an
I want
opinion?
your honest opinion.
An honest opinion?
Yep.
Okay. I understand the logistics, Aaron, of side screens. I do note that. I think that all limited overs cricket played in Newcastle, all of it, should be with a white ball. That's my opinion. I'm not being critical. I've been asked for an opinion. I think I'm entitled to give an opinion without making any comments.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an official, so I've got to be careful what I say, especially on social media. Moody's comfortably in for a single, but I'm in favour of white ball cricket at all times.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. Just personally, the reason I ask is because we have been on a journey going for a little while now. But I think pink ball. We brought pink balls in for the T20s when we went to the twilight midweek, right? So that was a slight adjustment going from a red ball, which we traditionally played our T20s with, to a pink ball. Then we said, rather than just the midweeks, we'll make it all of our T20s. Then you've
got to do that for consistency.
Yeah, and then then we moved the pink balls into the one-day comp the following year, And the reason being was everything you just mentioned, sight screens, even pads, white pads would have to phase out if we went to a white ball. So I think my personal opinion is that we probably do need to look at that change and get it to traditional white ball cricket. On the basis too that in Sydney, there's clubs that don't have black side screens, they just push them out of the way.
That's all you do. We had that at New South Wales Country at Chisholm, no black side screen. You can see a shot of that. Someone said, that side screen's out the way. And I said, it's because it's white with a white ball.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
same thing. It's
So,
a simple solution.
You know, this ground's probably one of a few that might have a trouble because you're coming out of the sky, but in most instances you've got trees or something, you know, behind it, and it's a dark background. So anyway, I just wanted to get your opinion. I know you're around the rep guys a lot, and obviously around your own club, but there's been growing conversations around it, and it must be said, not in any great detail at committee level, but that's not that time of year for that. We'll probably look at that in the off season, I'd imagine.
If ever the situation came, Aaron, where Newcastle Cricket looked at having day-night fixtures in grade, like they do in tests, that's where I think these balls become really important. And they are interesting because the game changes when you play day-night grade cricket.
Yep.
The ball starts to go. When the twilight starts to happen, Hazelwood's absolutely deadly as an example. Now, he's a world-class bowler, that's face facts. But I'm a fan of having all coloured clothing, coloured pads, white ball. That's my opinion. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Foster pushes that one wide for a single. Moody's on 46 here, and the score is 71.
Yeah, it'll take, you know, everyone will have to get on board and get behind it, but yeah, if the change does eventuate, I think, for me, it just brings us in line with what they do at pretty much every other level of cricket for limited overs.
They don't play with the pink ball in Sydney.
No, that's right, they're playing white, that's what I mean, yeah. Yep.
Kings go 220, PGs, Green Shield.
Yep.
Sydney Limited Overs is all with a white ball.
Yep.
Country Championships is all with a white ball. However, the Plan B Regional Bash is a pink ball.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But there's a reason for that, in that a lot of the shirts, the Blasters are an exception to that, have got white in them, the Lake Mac shirts, as Adrian Cheville.
Yep.
You couldn't play with a white ball with most of the shirts because they've actually got a splash of colour and white, so that's why they're using pink ball.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, I'm sure that's going through some sort of ongoing review, and I would say that the clothing design would obviously need to change at some stage. It's been the same now for 3 or 4 years, so there's an opportunity there when they do change to consider white ball as part of that change.
Well, Lake Mac is a no-brainer that they end up in LA Lakers or Minnesota Vikings colours of a combination of yellow and purple, which is the Lake Mac colours.
Yeah.
And that's not easy, that's not hard to do, particularly if you've got a purple shirt.
Foster's definitely not playing any low percentage shots here. He's happy to...
71 the score, 26 to get.
Even Moody's scoring rate has really slowed down, so I think they're eyeing off this 10-wicket victory to give him a chance to jump into third spot and progress in the comp.
Tidy. It's a nice little underarm left-down throw there from Gibson. Makes it difficult to throw off though with it the top of the stumps. 72 is the score.
BG's cranking out of the bowling club now.
Talking about disco. The height of Saturday night fever. Lovely shot, Keith Moody. That is a
50,
front foot pull shot and 50. Very nicely batted, Keith Moody. Yes, one of my first memories of listening to albums when I was a young bloke was when Saturday Night Fever came out, everybody had a copy. I'm telling you, that Hot August Night and Bat Out of Hell. But that particular album, that might be a no-y. That might be way over.
No, he's called Eyeline.
No ball. So, ladies and gentlemen, just for those of you who don't understand, not quite sure of the rules there, because that's been ruled as over the head. That's a no ball, and it is I've referred to it by its colloquial name today, but the correct term is a free hit. Keith Moody has a free shot at this. He can be run out, but he can't be caught, bowled, LB, stumped. Free hit for Moody. And has he got all of it?
I think he has. And I'll tell you what, not the easiest ball to Pongo. As much as it sat there,
Oh, yes.
that's like trying to hit an underarm delivery.
That was stuck into the pitch at halfway, half-baked, basically a half-baked leg spinner. The ball was actually going down when he hit it.
Yeah.
Puts it over the square leg fence with a lot of safety for 6. And now Stockton are 83. And
Well, I'm certain that if the
ball
whips
coming.
are tuned in right now, they'd be a little concerned that this is going to get very close on quotient.
correct.
They left here today probably thinking their nose was far
Very
enough
good
in
chance.
front.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a fair thing, but if this can be done with taking 9 wickets and giving up none, that could have a significant effect on quotient. And of course, they can't pick quotient up off Belmont, but they can. Stockton's got to make it get plus.
Yes.
They might be wides. Let's have a look. There's 1 run, and so 1 run. Let's have a look at the umpire here. So
Leg
that's
byes.
a leg by only. 84's the score.
Yeah, I think. Well, they need
13, I think.
13 to win, so yeah, they'd be. I just noticed Foster looking at the scoreboard then too. He's no doubt thinking.
Gets a short one, and as I said earlier on, he doesn't play the pull shot often. Of course, what you do, play a lovely pull shot in front of down to long on.
I was just in the middle of saying I doubt he's thinking any take any risk, but that was a fairly safe shot to be fair, even though it's not in his normal comfortable shot selection.
Is Francis coming on again? He looks like he is, or is he giving it to somebody else here? Might have gone to Gibson if that's number 9. Yeah, that's Gibson, left arm first finger spinner. So 12 to win here for Stockton, and for the quotient reasons, Stockton are looking here to win with 0 wickets down. It's been a pretty professional run chase so far. Aaron, I can't see that. Is it 11 or 12? It's 12 gone.
12 gone, yep.
Foster will continue to find the gaps and hit singles. No run there. He's very short in now because they know that Foster is trying that shot to dink away single. Fuller. Foster gets that down to mid-off. Actually to extra cover. Single. That's 86 is the score now. Moody's on 56. Foster's on 22.
What do you think Moody's thinking here, mate? Does he want to take a
He doesn't want
couple
to
of
fall foul
Dorothy's home with him?
Doesn't want to fall foul of Captain Grumpy, so no, thank you. Gibson's a good enough bowler that you really can't take risks. He does have a lot of gaps to hit from. He's got almost freedom, particularly hit down the ground here. He's got coverage at sweeping at deep forward square. Throws that one up, Gibson. Moody gets it into the gap. 1. Fisher chasing should be 2, and it is. 88 now the score. So from this morning, when Stockton walked in here and not knowing what was going on other grounds, thinking these are 2 games that we're going to play, all of a sudden, they're an outside chance of getting through to next week, which is quite remarkable. And it had to be a huge sequence of things to happen to give them an opportunity to get in, and they've all basically happened, particularly the washouts at Kahaiba and the first 2 games at Townsend being off. It's
And you know,
top order Moody.
just to repeat ourselves, because we've been here all day and we have started repeating ourselves. That the washouts at Kahaiba opened the door up for West to still come through as well, because that would have been a phenomenal injustice, I think, for the competition leaders to be 1 game with a quotient of 21, annihilated Toronto, and then never get another game, 3 washouts.
Yep.
So they've just been, you know, fortunate enough that the weather at another ground actually benefited them, because the Black Roses, who for on 5 and a chance to win a game would have almost, or had they won, would have certainly jumped into the equation.
Steve Abel coming on to bowl his left arm meds from the northern end. 9 more to get. It's been a great day, Aaron. Thank you so much for your company, and thank you again for having me very much. It's been a real privilege and a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, my friend.
No worries. Thank you for hosting me. At the end of the day, I've enjoyed coming out and watching a game, 3 games of cricket, and to have our conversation recorded. I guess we've just had to censor it a bit, haven't we?
Yeah. All diplomatic and
well, to be
careful.
fair, had we not been able to do this, you would have been that busy doing other things. I probably would have rarely chatted to you today. So.
Yeah. Ball gets that one in the right areas. Foster just defends to short extra cover. No run. 88 the score. 9 more to get.
Just a quick thanks again, as we have several times today. Just thank the City of Newcastle for their ongoing support of this competition. And the NDCA.
Got to go. Foster gets there for the single. They've been fantastic, haven't they? And again, their support's been superb. It is called the NCC T20 region, but they deserve all the credit they get for this.
Yeah, and also just beyond the NDCA, obviously they've been great with the junior carnivals through this period for some time as well. So cricket entirely gets a very good, a very good deal of support from them, particularly through, like I said, this sort of January period, which has sort of been nicknamed the Festival of Cricket. Usually have a few midweek carnivals and our men's stuff as well, and of course the women's are going at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Played on Newcastle grounds only. So
90 is now the score. Stockton being very careful not to give away a wicket here. Foster from Abel. Isn't it bizarre to see a T20 game being played like this? It's
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, it's probably not the greatest spectator sport at the minute, but look at that crowd over there on the bowling green. They're watching it fairly
they're
keenly.
watching it very closely, actually. It's great to have a crowd down there at long on. Foster dinks that one back down the pitch. None for 90. Foster is 23. Keith Moody an excellent 59 off 50 rocks. Done a good job today of Stockton. And we wait for the calculators to come in later on to see who gets through. Foster again playing it defensively. No risk being taken. 7 to get.
Is that a sea helicopter up there to the left? Sorry, viewers, you won't be able to see, but
So that can land on the water cannon, is what you're saying?
don't know. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Can't say. I've ever really seen
It does look a bit unusual.
Any aviation experts out there, feel free to
A
chime
lot
in.
of planes fly over here. We're very close to Newcastle Airport and RAF Base Williamtown. So it's actually quite epic to be here when they start doing circle work in their F-18s. Oh my God, that's loud.
We played a game here when they, it might have been around Australia Day or something like that. They had supercars, and it was actually, it wasn't a great day if you were trying to be an umpire. Very distracting. At one point I think we actually stopped the game because it was so noisy. But,
Well run, Moody. 3 runs, Keith Moody.
yeah.
93 the score. I was here. That was unbelievably loud. It would almost like I'm a big dude, so you would almost shook me off my feet.
Yeah.
And that in those days I was about 150.
Yep.
And I was $1.50 down in fair income. It was just rumbling down, and you just hear this epic sound flying down, going north-south along Stockton Beach. Holy cow, it was loud. And as Aaron said, you could not have heard a caught behind snick for all the world money in China. I was going to say for all the other somethings in China, but I better stay out of that. Yeah, I was going to say something else there about, anyway, I'll say it on that. They're probably listening in.
So we're in the 15th over.
4 to get.
4 to get.
All up off the fence, aren't they?
Interesting to see the run rate worm actually, because it was tapered off considerably.
The one spike will be the over where Moody went 4, got the nowhere, and then hit the half-baked leggy into orbit.
I'll have to leave it on.
Yeah, so there you go.
So they're going to get there a lot quicker. So the Manhattan is. It's not too dissimilar to
No, it's not.
the Flood because they're taking the game deep, but they're obviously under no threat of losing this game with 10 wickets in hand.
That one was one he actually
Brilliant.
could have leaned back and played a full shot to and whacked it over here.
I thought it kept a bit low, so I don't know.
I thought he got that almost on stickers, but anyway.
Yeah.
Need to be at that table just a touch to your right too with these dodgy old legs. Thank you. Moody being kept back in his crease. Good fielding at backward point. So
Yeah, the run rate worm is
93.
obviously well in front for Stockton, but
Just a score check, please. I'm sure it's 93 after. Is it 15 or 16 gone now, please?
93 after 15.
15, okay. Right. Dying embers of what's been a great day of broadcasting here at Lynn Oval and Stockton. Could we have a score check from Townsend, please, big
Yeah,
fella?
we can. Yep,
If we
I'll
can.
just get that sorted for you. Be
10.
close to done, and it is. So the Lions had a 7-wicket victory. John O'Dunn 38 off 25, the best of the batsmen. Nothing else really there too exciting to talk
Good
about.
to see Geordie Van Kemenade playing first grade for Merriweather as well.
Yeah.
So Merriweather have definitely progressed after an interesting day of cricket at Townsend, or an interesting lack of cricket at Townsend with 2 games called off due to wet weather. I'm pretty confident that's due to a wet square. Change in bowler here. Just wondering if that's Logan Smith. Would you mind ducking back to our streaming, please? No, it's Daniel Foster. That might be the winning runs. Not too much of a chase being,
That'll be it. That is.
and that is 4 in that game.
10-wicket victory to Stockton.
So it makes it very interesting. Very,
Calculators
very interesting.
will be out as we
Calculators
speak.
will be out while we speak, and very interesting there. So Stockton out with 2 wins today, Belmont 1. Aaron, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, first of all, for having me. It's been a privilege. We've had an absolute ball. We've been talking for 7 or 8 hours now. It's been great fun, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Redders.
Thank
Give
you,
me a
mate.
handshake there. And yeah, we look forward to having you again in the coming weeks.
Look
And
forward to it.
all the best to your team and club for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you
in
very much.
Stockton. And look forward to listening to your podcasts and your Redders Kitchens and anything else we can find you on. But the YouTube and podcast doyen. Proud to have you. Thank you, Redders.
Thank you, mate. And on behalf of all the people who've come in today, Adrian Chad has been with us for quite a while this afternoon, Josh Chappell, Cal Gabriel, and Flynn Guest. On behalf of Aaron Gray, my name's David Redden. Thank you for listening in on what's been a great day of cricket here at Lynn Oval, Stockton. Stockton ending up with 2 wins on the day. It's thank you and good evening from Lynn Oval. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.